In Quito, Peru, Amadeo Garcia rushed upriver in his canoe, slipping into the hidden, booby-trapped camp where his brother Juan lay dying. Juan writhed in pain and shook uncontrollably as his fever rose, battling malaria. As Amadeo consoled him, the sick man muttered back in words that no one else on earth still understood. "Jane Tavia," he said that sweltering day in 1999. "I am so ill." The words were Toshiro. A mystery to linguists and anthropologists alike, the language was spoken by a tribe that vanished into the jungles of the Amazon basin in Peru generations ago, hoping to save itself from the invaders whose weapons and diseases had brought it to the brink of extinction. A bend on the Wild River, as they called it, sheltered the two brothers and the other 15 remaining members of their tribe. Even by the end of the 20th century, few outsiders had ever seen the Toshiro or heard their language beyond the occasional hunter, a few Christian missionaries and the armed rubber tappers who came at least twice to enslave the small tribe. But in the end it was no use. Without rifles or medicine, they were dying. By the time Amadeo wrestled his dying brother into the canoe that day, they were the only ones who remained, the last of a culture that once numbered in the thousands. "The strange thing was how quiet Amadeo was," said Tomás Villalobos, a Christian missionary who was with him when Juan died. "I asked him, 'How do you feel?' And he said to me, 'It's over now for us.'" Amadeo said it haltingly, in broken Spanish, the only way he would be able to communicate with the world from that moment on. No one else spoke his language anymore. An unexpected burden. Languages are typically passed down through families, but Amadeo broke his apart decades before he realized what the consequences would be for his culture and its place in history. He still has 5 children, dotted across the Americas. But after his wife left him in the 1980s, he put them into an orphanage when they were still young, thinking it was safer than a life in which children were abducted by traffickers or lost to war. None of them lived with him after that. They never learned his language. For those languages that are in this critical situation, many times it seems their fate is already sealed, said Agustin Panizo, a government linguist trying to document Toshiro. Amadeo Garcia, he wants Toshiro to come back. He suffers to know that he is the last speaker. Now Amadeo lives alone in a clapboard house behind the town's water tower, spending many of his days drinking. Desperate to speak and hear whatever Toshiro he can, he sits alone on his porch in the morning, reciting the only literature ever written in the language, verses of the Bible translated into Toshiro by missionaries who sought to convert the tribe years ago. However, some hold out hope that some part of the Toshiro language will persist even after Amadeo. Working with Amadeo, linguists have created a database of 1,500 Toshiro words, 27 stories and 3 songs, with plans to make recordings of Amadeo available to academics. "I am Toshiro," he said.